So I think the idea that we all have world knowledge or common sense that lets us understand the way people think is really important in being able to get under the way we talk in a creative way and the way we talk when we're passionate or excited. We use all these metaphors. We try to say things in new and interesting ways, and one of the reasons we do that, especially online or when we're talking about products, is we want to be interesting, we want to be creative, we want to be the one people listen to. And so I think it's important to be able to collect that information and add it back in. The company we were talking to had brought up a good example of this problem, which is that someone had called their customer helpline and said that their product smelled musty. Now, this isn't a product that you want to smell musty or even that it makes that much sense that it smells musty, but they really needed to understand, is this something systematic? Is there a geographic place where this is happening? Is it part of our supply chain? Do we have to worry about it? Or is this just an isolated incident? And the only way you can do that is look at all your logs and say how many people have called in with the same problem. Now, if you or I were to go through the logs and say, oh, this person had said it smells like an old house, they possibly had the same sort of problem, we would be able to do that really easily, but unless you had pre-trained a computer beforehand to be able to pick up those associations, it wouldn't be able to do it. And that goes into the knowledge that we have that allows us to understand when people are talking about creative things, they're probably tying into this knowledge. So for us, I was running the digital intuition group at the Media Lab and working with my students on this project and other related projects. And I think something that became clear right off the bat was that people were really struggling because there wasn't anything that they could use to work on this, especially with things like developing new products and throughout the product development lifecycle. Being able to understand the text that their consumers generate and the way they talk about things like flavors and scents and colors and textures was something that everybody approached in a really qualitative way as opposed to a quantitative way. And these companies were really trying to make data-driven decisions. So at the Media Lab, we work with our member companies to be able to take technology that we develop and see it and test it in the real world. And we had started doing this with a whole number of companies, looking at everything from how people feel about insurance all the way to how people feel about their shampoo. And it was really showing some very promising results, and I think people really wanted to see it in something that wasn't a research project and something that they could apply to build their companies in a more data-driven way. So we really started out not necessarily just in marketing, although we did start out with a few marketing people, but we also started out doing product development for CPG and food, and I think that's still a big, strong area for us. But really right now what we do is at all stages of the product development lifecycle. So our software can help everywhere from being able to figure out whether or not a brand would authentically build a certain kind of product, all the way to figuring out what kind of SKUs drive someone into a retail store. Anywhere you have free text and you would think about it in a qualitative way and you wish you could think about it in a more data-driven way, that's where we come in.